folks. The Kings are in the building. All right. So, Devay, you can hear me? You can hear me good? Okay. Kat, you can hear me, bro? Good. Steven, you can hear me? All right. So, we're just going to wait for some good old folks to come through the land so they can view. They need to be coming on in a few minutes, few seconds, honestly. This is going to be good. All right. So we got some viewers in. All right. So what's up, you guys? How are you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday evening? So y'all already know what we got going on. Welcome to Unmute Yourself When Kings Talk, Heart Listens. Okay. And this is about to be a real good show. Okay. I got my brother. All right. One of the kings. He's gifted in a lot of things. Okay. Poetry, anything, singing, I mean, right, photography, everything. He's good at it. Y'all give it up for my bro Steven. Okay. I got my brother from another mother. Okay, he about to, capture your heart. Okay. Kat, and I got Devay. Okay, we got somebody new here, so we just want to give everybody a shout out right now. Charles will be joining us in a few minutes. Okay, so y'all pray for traveling grace for him. He will be joining us in a few minutes. However, let's get this party started, y'all. Y'all already know how we do for our Zoom by round. Let's see. Devay, I'm gonna start with you. My heart gonna start with you, okay? What catches a man attention, but capture his heart? What catches a man attention but captures his heart?
Oh boy. Uh, everybody knows that men are the visual beings. We kind of got that thing going on to where it's like the attention, the appeal of a woman. But what captures his heart, for me personally, it used to be conversation, but it changed into being more follow through based. That's the kind of thing that captures my heart. I don't care kind of what you can say. I don't care about your words that much. Like they matter because they give me something to hold you accountable to. But I'm more so concerned with your follow through. Can you actually deliver? Um, but I mean, it's always the eyes always gonna catch you first. I'm gonna always look at you first and be like, "What you got going on? Like, how do you carry yourself? Like, what's your style? What's your energy like? Like, what's going on there?" That's gonna capture my attention.
Right.
Even your conversation will capture my attention because you can say the right things, and I'll be like, "Okay, cool." But if you want my heart, I need to see something to follow with it.
No, I totally get you. Kat, what you vary up, but what but what caught your attention and captured your heart?
Oh man, so when I was younger, and I'm still young, don't get me wrong. I'm meaning like back, like high school days. All men go for like the shape, the size, the appearance. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, that stuff starts to fade away. Because it might be a dime, but what can she offer you? Like, do she pray for you? Can she cook for you? Can she understand where you're coming from when it comes to life? What you want, your dreams. Can she match that? Or is her dreams higher than yours? Like, can y'all meet in the same, at the same spot? Like, can you offer me more than just having a fat, you know what I'm saying? Or having can you offer me more? So I'm gonna have to rock with him. You say your name Duvet? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to rock with him, man. Conversation is a plus. Um, like, it can get boring sometimes, but if you go on a date and all y'all talk about is or only thing that happens is, hey, what you doing, or what you up to, or stuff like that. That stuff get old. But if your conversation can run deep, past hey big head, or if it can run deep past that, man, that stuff is interesting. So I'm gonna have to rock with that conversation.
Okay. Brother, the GOAT, Steven, bro. This is another brother that is married, so just let y'all know he's married. But brother, what caught your attention and capture your heart?
Um, I'm gonna go with what my brother said as well. Is that when you first started talking, he said man of vision. So obviously, I believe that you characteristics catch your attention, but character is what captures your heart. Because if you're being truthful, you saw somebody and something about their appearance, something about them, their characteristics on the outside attracted you to them to want to know more about that person. And getting to know that person, the character of that person, of how they treat themselves, how they treat you, how they treat others, how they talk, the follow through, like how he said, their conversation, the character of who make up that person is what captures your heart. You know what I'm saying? To be like, okay, I'm really digging this person, because, like Ed said, you can meet somebody and to the world standards, they could be a perfect 10, but they could be T.I. in the
head. Yeah. Hey, y'all, we saw Brother Charles done came in. Bishop.
What up?
Bishop,
What up? What up?
Bishop, how you doing?
Listen, it's been a long day.
Yes, brother. Thank you so much for still rocking and coming through.
Fellas, how y'all doing? Good to see y'all, man.
Pretty good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too, man.
So, the one we have, Charles, his name is DeVay. So he, just so you know, but we already started our Zoom by round, Charles. So, but the question is, what catches a man's heart? I mean, what catches a man's attention but capture his heart?
That's my question when I jump in.
Yeah.
Oh man. Ask the question one more time.
Okay. What catches a man's attention but capture his heart?
I would say that it totally depends on the man, and but I would say primarily what the woman of God looks like. I mean, what you look like. That's the table setter for if I want to come to the table and have a conversation, and then what comes out of her mouth, how she carries herself, how she conducts herself when she doesn't know I'm looking. All of those things have to do with, if I desire to take it further and try to investigate deeper. But as far as capturing my heart, it's going to come through trust. It's going to come through discretion. It's going to come through her being wise and gentle, and a woman who is supportive and who's kind to people that she does not need. A woman who has good relationships with women.
Mm-hmm. That's
A woman who stays away from gossip, because all of those things, all of those things fall up under the umbrella of a woman being wise. And if you're beautiful and you're wise, it's a layup.
a whole layup in the dunk. I feel you,
Mm-hmm.
brother. That's what it is. But look, you guys, now we're about to get to round one. Because this is the part that the ladies and the folks want to know across the land. Today I'm gonna start with you again. I listen to the Breakfast Club, and I listen to 99 Gems sometimes with Trick and Trina, and sometimes they don't have the brightest people on the show sometimes. However, when people call in, one of the things that I realize is that it's like the mentality. So a lot of times I remember one of the questions were, if a man get another woman pregnant, that it's like, oh, she should be able to forgive me. This is literally what they said. She should be able to forgive me and stick it out. So Trina said, "Well, what if she get pregnant by another man? What would be your thoughts then? Can you stick it out?" He said no. So the question is this: why can't men take what they dish out? Like what is it? What is the correlation? What is the equation? Why they can't take it?
Ooh. My initial thought, honestly, when it's posed this way, is it has a lot to do with pride. the male ego in some instances won't allow you to have me out here looking a certain type of way. Um, we have this thing sometimes to where, there's a lot of double standards out across the board. It's cool for us go to the grocery store and joggers, whatever the case is, but let wifey or let girl go out in some leggings and a t-shirt, and it's a problem. Knowing that the same thing is revealed. So I think it's an ego thing. I think that's just me. I don't know. I don't know. I only see ego when it comes down to it because it's literally just it's my image. Like, you got me out here looking crazy. And although women are more forgiving, men by nature are more like barbaric and like warriors. So now you like tampering with my territory. You done got my girl pregnant. Like, bro, like, I'm not doing this with you no more. So party's over. Good luck with you and your new baby father, and I wish y'all the best. But y'all going like,
No, that's real. I just wanted to know the equation. That's all. Cat, brother, even though you would never be in this situation, but still, brother, what is the double standard? What is the double standard that it seems that we have, because I can't put it together. I don't get it. So what's why the double standard?
If you can't take getting back what you dish out, don't do it at all. Some boys don't know that, and you got some grown men that don't know that. So men, well, let me say boys. Men wouldn't do that. Boys, it's something about when another man touches what they claim to be theirs. You'll be sick. You won't eat. You won't hang out with you won't do nothing out the norm. You will be completely different. But you should have thought about that. You know what I'm saying? When you was with the other, because one thing that'll keep me from is thinking about another man doing it to mine. So you should, if you can't take getting back what you dish out, don't do it. And with women, some women can take it, some women can't. Man, it's the same, man. Some men can take it, some women just don't do it. Don't do it. I just tell you like that. Don't do it, man. It ain't. It's not gonna be a good feeling. I'm telling you. When I say you're gonna be sick, you're gonna be sick. Because one thing about a woman, a man might think he can play that game, but a woman can play it 10 times better, bro. And you will be sick. Sick. I'm speaking from experience. Sick.
Brother had to take some Tylenol.
Yeah, so but back to it, like, so it's something about whenever, and we only unmute yourself, so I ain't gonna go too far, but I'm just gonna say for instance, a man got a woman, he been with this woman for 10 years. That's all he's ever known is that woman. That's all he ever slept with, all he ever kissed, all he ever came home to. Period. That's it. But he decides to step out one day. He know what he doing. He gonna go do it and come back home, right? His girl finds out. She go do the same exact thing. What she do is gonna be in his head. Over. No, let me put it like this. What he did to that woman is gonna be playing in his head over and over. But it's gonna be with the man doing it to his woman. And that's what's gonna make him sick. So I'm just gonna say, like I said in the beginning, man, if you can't take it, don't do it. Don't do it anyway. But I'm saying if you know you can't take it, don't dish it out. But she coming back 10 times harder than what you can. Trust me.
Got you. Stephen, go. Please explain to the folks out here why it seems like men cannot take what they dish out.
Okay, so I agree with my brothers here that it's ego, and that you just shouldn't do it at all. But we know in today's world, we know that it does happen, that men do get women pregnant, step outside of marriage. They do, they unfaithful in their relationships, and they do things that they should not do. And then if it happened to them, they have a completely different response. And I think part of the problem is as men growing up, unlike women, women are in touch with their emotions, right? And men are built to be macho and to have this ego. And so when you get into so if you was with your homeboys and your homeboy did something wrong against you and y'all clash heads and y'all went separate ways, you'll dust that off your back and you won't have no problem with it, right? Because that's part of your male macho ego. But when a man falls in love with a woman, it touches a part of his emotions that he's not used to dealing with. And so he can continue to do things the way he think it's that he normally does. And if he steps out, he might know he wrong, but once that emotion of love his heart gets touched and she does the same thing, it touches him in a different way that he doesn't know how to react. He hurt. That's why they say, women get in a relationship, they break up, they might cry, they might go through it for a few months, and then the next thing you know, you see them 6 months down the line, they flourishing, they going on to other things in life, and they come back out of whatever the relationship and can move on. Versus men, they break up with a chick and it seems like they moved on right away, but then 6 months down the line, they toe up. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to openly deal with those emotions because of a lot of times the way we're brought up that you're not supposed to cry and you're not supposed to do this and what macho is. So you don't understand that, hey, if I do this, this is how it affect my emotions the same way how Kev was saying, I don't want to feel that, so I wouldn't do that to someone else. A lot of guys don't know that because they're not in touch with their emotions.
That's good, brother. That's good. Well, everything y'all said were good. Charles Bishop, please help the folks out. Put the stamp on
Bishop,
it.
you gotta stop. I would say, we first have to look at statistically in a general broad sense, and I repeat this, in a general broad sense, men and women cheat for different reasons. Like, so when a man is presented with a sexy opportunity, if he does not have discipline, he doesn't have to build relationship. He doesn't have to have conversation. There's opportunity. If he conducts himself in a promiscuous way, then there's an opportunity for him to cheat. Now, oftentimes when a woman cheats, she is fully invested emotionally. And if she's having sex with him, she probably loves that joker. More often than not, she loves him. She snuck away and went out on dates. She's had secret conversations for hours. Women do not cheat for sex. Men cheat for sex. So when we find out that she cheated, now we are brokenhearted because she loves him. The fact that if she slept with him and spent all of that time with him, because we understand that she's not fast. More often than not, she's not promiscuous. So we know that if she went through all of those great lengths to do what she did it out of being emotionally attached to this man. So it hurts on a different level because we know it was just because of her. We know what we did was just because of her body, not necessarily because she was that awesome. So that's one thing. And then we have to also consider, I don't know if everybody's on this call is Christian, but as a Christian brother, we also have to address this need for returning evil for evil. We cannot gloat in the fact that, well, if you don't want it done back to you, don't do it. Yes, in a sense, that's absolutely true. We don't want to just be out here sowing seeds that we don't want to reap. But this prideful response of returning evil for evil is it's absolutely wrong from what we believe as a standard as far as believers are concerned. So I just wanted to address that as well. But when it comes to the cheating thing, I think it hits us a lot differently because if she does cheat, she cheated because she's invested. And
Go
she's
ahead,
probably gone. And she's probably gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gone bye-bye.
Yeah, I do. Do anybody want to piggyback off or anything? Or you guys okay? We could go to the next question. We good?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait. You got go ahead.
You got something?
Just a little tidbit just to add to what the goat was talking
Mm-hmm.
about. So dealing with the emotional side of a man, because like he said before, we're not taught to be emotional beings, and so that side of it doesn't just stop at male ego. It spills down to the way that we're in the relationship in general.
Yeah.
And one of the things that men don't realize as being the head of the household, as being the leaders of that household, is that we're also the leaders emotionally of that household. It doesn't just stop at making sure there's a roof over our head. It doesn't stop at making sure that our family's eating and that they got clothes. But that leading, that you being the head of that household, means that your wife has a shoulder to cry on, and you're also emotionally healthy enough to be able to carry her, as well as vice versa. So knowing how to be vulnerable to your woman, so that, and either one of y'all got to cheat, right? Because if we're emotionally healthy and if we're emotionally available to one another, there is no reason for us to cheat, because now I literally got you physically, I got your heart, and I got you emotionally. So if I have you in these areas, I ain't gonna worry about you getting pregnant by nobody else, because I got you pregnant already in every way possible.
Yeah.
So
I don't
pretty
know.
much, take care of home. If you take care of home,
Honestly.
everything else will work out. You know what I'm saying? It'll work out for your
Thank you,
good, for y'all
Jesus.
good. Take care of home.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Just take care of home.
Talking about statistics and things like that, if you read most books on marriage and things like that, they tell you a lot of times when infidelity comes into marriage, into a relationship, it's because the other person's need isn't getting met. Right. So just like how he said, you're supposed to be vulnerable, a shoulder to cry on, or open. Sometimes if your macho ego gets in the way of that and they can't come to you, eventually they shouldn't, but they can find another shoulder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely.
They in them
Everybody.
DMs waiting. They waiting.
Look, let me tell you something. Listen here,
Really,
man.
really.
This is good right here because the folks like myself, we just want to know. But for our second question, debate, I'm gonna start with you. When does a man start to check out of a relationship? Because for women, like some of you articulated, honestly, we'll check out mentally before we'll check out physically. But for men, when do you guys really check out of a relationship?
So I've been married before, right? And I checked out of my marriage around the time when I felt the most betrayal, and it wasn't a physical betrayal, it wasn't even like an emotional or a mental betrayal, but it was more so of an appreciation type thing. I checked out because as a man, one of the things about us is, I don't know if you've heard this before, but men, we have this thing to where if we don't feel needed inside of our homes, if we don't feel appreciated inside of our homes, then we'll start to back up. Like, you don't need me. Like, I know you got your bros, I know you got people that you grew up with, but at the end of the day, like, this our house, this is our world. And so for me, I started to check out when I saw the lack in that appreciation, when I saw that lack in gratitude, and I saw that lack in so, and just a few other areas, but it's just like, I don't. That's when I started to check out. Like, if I feel like I'm not valuable, or if I feel like you don't value me, or if I feel like I'm not an asset in your life, I ain't got no reason to be here. Or if I feel like you're not gonna appreciate it, I'm not gonna be here. Ain't no point.
Yeah, as a man, when do men literally check out of a relationship?
When I feel like you don't need me no more. If I feel like I'm breaking my neck to put food on the table every day, make sure you are taken care of, even so you don't have to work if you don't want to. and I feel like it's not appreciated. Um, in my mind, what am I doing here? If you don't enjoy my touch the way you did in the beginning, what am I doing here? Uh, if the middle doesn't look like the beginning, what am I doing here? I mean, you're gonna have your rough days, but if we get to the point where we can't work through them no more, if we going at each other next 24/7, what am I doing here? Like in the beginning, we was praying our way through this. Now you listening to Beyonce because you mad riding down the street, and I'm sitting here praying, but you done checked out and you done left. If you walk away from me while we talking, what am I doing here? So, like I said, if the middle don't look like the beginning, it's time for me to go. You don't appreciate me no more. You don't need me no more. So it's time for me to check out.
Steven, your thoughts, brother. When do a man start to check out of a relationship?
I had to get my charger. Can you hear me? Can I still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I believe I can't remember. I don't know if it was Kid or D touched on it, where it was saying that men need to feel, they have a sense to feel needed, right? So even if you can do a thing, if you present a thing to me in a fashion that makes me feel needed, makes me want to do that for you even the more, right? But when a man feels like he's not needed and that the respect for him is gone or respect to him is gone, he starts to, you can start to check out when you don't feel respected or you don't feel needed. You can, not saying that you left the relationship, but you can start to draw back when those needs aren't met. A need of feeling, men are conquerors, so we want to feel like we're helping our woman or doing something for them. We want to feel needed, like I need you to help me do this, or I need you to help me do that. So yeah, not feeling needed and feeling disrespected can make you check out, and that's for men and women. But feeling disrespected and not being needed.
Okay. Charles, your thoughts.
Um, my brothers have said a mouthful already. Um, in that area, I would say, of course, the feeling of being needed, um, uh, the need for respect, and and those things. But I would also say that the not only I would also say for there to be a atmosphere of grace within the relationship. What I've found with myself, having been married before, and then also with talking to other brothers, but also even in the dating field post divorce, was that the amount of grace that I gave out was not equivalent to what I would receive. And so it caused me to check out. It's like, you want me to forgive you immediately, and then you also then want me to respond uh, uh, as if there everything is okay and we're supposed to move on quickly. But I found that in certain situations where she might have been upset or disappointed, it was not the same level of it wasn't reciprocated in a gracious way. So it didn't create an environment, and it goes back to the safety that all of the brothers were talking about. It didn't create an environment where I feel like I could be human. So it put me in a position where it's, you check out, because it's like, if I'm not Superman 24/7, then I'm going to receive some type of disrespect, and I don't, and that just that was a part of the thing that I've heard, and the thing that I've experienced on checking out, and I think it's just about meeting each other's needs, when and men being able to express those needs. I mean, you don't have the right to check out if you haven't communicated clearly what you need. and often, and so we can't come at our women left from the angle of, from the angle of silence. I don't tell you what you need. I haven't told you what I need, but I'm upset because I'm not getting it. And that is a bunch of crap when it comes down to it. Open up your mouth and tell her that this is how I would love to be loved. This is what makes me feel good. This is what makes me feel respected. This is what keeps me engaged and locked in. And then also men have to address the fact that sometimes when you check out, it has a lot to do with the things within your flesh that you haven't addressed. So sometimes it's not always what she did to you or that made you check out. Oftentimes we are drawn away by our own lusts. We're pulled out of relationships because of past trauma. So we talk about this a whole lot, of just having mentors and having therapists and having people that you talk to, so that you empty those things out of your soul, so that you can properly be loved and properly love. So that's what I think. But great takes, guys.
No, that was good. Because honestly, and this is not, one of the questions that I had gave you guys, but because of the flow of everything, what is it though? And the way you can start, and we could just go back around about when it comes down to communication. Let's say, for example, a woman is communicating how she feels, and how, she's saying, okay, if a man say, teach me how to love you, right? And then the woman start telling you, okay, this is how I want to be loved, or this is my pet peeves or whatever, but the man shut down and don't be a man of his word. Is it is it that the woman is not communicating well, or is it unchecked, flesh issues, like you just said, Charles? So the way if you can ask, answer that.
I think it could be a couple of things. So one, I'm going to say it could definitely be the flesh, because this thing is a little ghetto. If you're not careful, I think it'll definitely jack you up. But then the flip side of it is, one of the things I was thinking about as Bishop was speaking, is the fact that we don't, because men aren't taught to be emotional beings and stuff like that, and even down to our own communication, we don't always know what we need, or we don't know how to conceptualize or to put that thing into words. And sometimes, even when it comes down to understanding a woman and trying to meet her needs, we don't know how. I think a lot of times, a lot of the insufficiencies comes for a lack of knowledge, honestly. Like, I really believe that, because you don't know, so you can't execute. I don't have the experience. I don't have the knowledge. I didn't have the mentor. I didn't have that father figure in my household. I didn't have anybody around me to show me the way on how to meet these needs that she has. So I think a part of it can be our own list, but then I think a lot of it also comes from our past experiences, because women are very good at communicating. I want this, I want that, this, that, everything is like clockwork. Like, this is how I need to be loved. I need you to do this. This is what makes me feel special. This is what makes me feel appreciated. To a man that's coming from a past where he has no example, no model, he's bumping his head the whole way trying to figure this thing out. And hopefully the woman is like receptive and she's patient, because if not, good luck.
Kat, same thing, brother. And I try to shorten it a little bit. Like, if a woman is communicating and she's trying to tell you, how she feel, and the man is not reciprocating that, like, what is it? Like, what is some advice? Like, is it that the woman is not communicating well, or what is the disconnect there?
It could be both ways.
Mm-hmm.
She might communicate well. He might just not grip it. Like, he might not understand it. He might not have had that father figure or that male figure. So he don't know what that looked like. It's foreign to him, you know what I'm saying? And that goes back to the whole accountability piece. if you don't know, get with some men that do know. Some that's not going to lead you the wrong way. You know, and I was fortunate enough to have a male figure. So with my wife, I wanted to get to the point, and I'm glad you asked me, because I posted this a few days ago and it got a lot of shares that I wasn't expecting. You have to learn when you start loving someone. Before you start loving someone, you should learn that person, you know, inside and out. Because I posted and I said, fellas, learn your wives, your girlfriends, or whatever it is that she is to you. Because sometimes what's wrong with her is not going to come out her mouth. Sometimes she's just going to be silent, and you need to know what it is that she needs, you know, silently. Like, you need to be able to hear her loud and clear without her saying anything. You know, you need to know how she walk, how she hold her head, how she even hold her mouth when something is wrong. She shouldn't have to say anything. That's for men. Now, that's for men that know. But some men don't have that. They didn't grow up with that. They don't know what that looked like. And some women aren't patient. You know, they feel like if they communicate over and over and over again, okay, when you get home, by the time you get home, she's already checked out. By the time you get it, she's already checked out. So that could go with your previous question. A woman is probably checked out by the third time she asks you and tell you what she need. If you ain't got it by then, she's checked out already. You know, she's gone already. Um, some women don't have the patience to wait for you to get it. Uh, so my advice would be get around some men that know, that can show you the way. And if they don't want to show you, then just get around them and just watch. Pay attention to certain things. Read a book. Look at some videos. Some movies can teach you. You know, it's not hard. Um, so I would just say, you know, accountability. Get with some men that know.
Auntie Paulette, I test back and I said, you can ask the question, Auntie. I see you raise your hand. Yo, Auntie is it's funny, yo. But Stephen, to you, brother, just a little bit different, I guess. The same question, but at the same time, too, you know, what is the disconnect in that? Because when a woman, sometimes when a woman do express, okay, or communicate, this is how I want to be treated, this is how I want to be loved. You have some men that if they say, okay, I got you, I hear you, I'm gonna do that, but then they don't do it, and then the woman remind them, hey, this is, we kind of talked about this before, but then the man become, I guess defensive and say that woman is too demanding. So where's that disconnect there?
I don't know about all that, but what I want to say is that we don't understand a lot of times the great importance of love languages. So a lot of this has to do with not just the communication, but also how you view what you're doing. Because you could tell me, I need you to love me better, and I try to love you better the way I think you should be loved better. Even though you're telling me, hey, I need XYZ, I might try to do that in my own right. And that's not exactly how you need to be loved. And so if he doesn't have an understanding of her love language, or what actually gets her going, and not just him trying to conquer something else, you know what I'm saying, and go out and do it on his own, he's going to miss it every time. She's going to have to keep coming back to him and tell him, hey, I need such and such and such and such, because you're not meeting the need the way I need the need met. You know what I'm saying? You're meeting the need the way you think you should meet it, and not necessarily how I'm explaining to you that I need it to be done. And so a lot of people don't understand love languages, and they try to love people the way they grew up being loved, or how their upbringing, or what, if they don't have any mental, what they thought or seen on TV or whatever. And so they might be being communicated to, but the miscommunication is the method of how you're going about trying to meet this person's need. And I feel like those love languages play a great part. And also, what Bishop was talking about, needing the grace to be able to change. Because if you tell me, hey, I don't like XYZ, and I say, okay, I got you. And I start off, and this month, next month, I'll do that. And then the third month, I slip up and go back. Don't jump on me like I've never tried to change anything. Because now he's going to shut down. Because just because I might have just needed a reminder that, hey, remember, I like XYZ or such and such and such, to get them back on track, because you need that grace time, especially if you've been doing things by habit. You have a habit of doing things a certain way, and now you're trying to change that way for somebody to help. There is some form of compromise in relationship. You have to meet the other person's need. You have to let go some things that you might like, or whatever. You have to meet somewhere in a common ground, and you might be changing some ways, but you still have habits that you might revert to an old habit that you just need to be brought up to the attention that, hey, you're doing it again, versus jumping on that person for making a mistake.
So I know you got the folks calling you, but he's the bishop of love, the love doctor. That's why I call you the bishop of love doctor. But Charles, what's your thoughts, bro?
No, for sure. I would say we have to, and it goes back to what my brother just said. We have to get back to the proper definition of love. A lot of times we don't give our women what they need, because the definition of love we have is selfish, and is not rooted in service. And if we're going to properly define love is work, the romance, all of those things that our women desire, comes from work. When a woman says that I'm in love with you, it's because of the work that you've put in. If you haven't even put in any work and she says she loves you, she might be nuts. And so our responsibility is to serve. And it's not going to be perfect, but I think if you continue to show your woman that, look, I'm here, I'm present, and I'm here to give. I'm not here to take from you. And I'm just, and listen, I understand that love is reciprocity, but I think, we've been sold a bill of goods because of the way that the world teaches even the whole concept of loving yourself, because they teach loving yourself as you're supposed to love yourself and then demand that somebody loves you like you love yourself. And it's not the scripture. The scripture tells us, I love myself so that I can love my neighbor. I love my neighbor as myself. And I get that I get my identity, and I get who I am from the vertical relationship with the Lord. And then from that love that I receive from him, and him telling me who I am, then I go out and I share that love with other people. But if I continue, if I hold a high view of myself that is unbiblical, and I have a self-appraisal of my own life that is not rooted in facts and truth, then I'll demand that somebody does for me that I would never do for somebody else, or I'll demand that somebody does for me something that is rooted in me making myself an idol. And so I think when as men, if we get back to serving our women and not making excuses. I was joking with one of my brothers, and I posted about it because he said, like, man, nobody ever taught me all this stuff, and I want to be a man of God, and da 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 da. I was like, bro, and he laughed. We laughed about this. I told him, I said, man, I said, did your parents ever have sex in front of you? And he looked at me crazy. He was like, what? I was like, did your parents ever have sex in front of you? He said, no. He was like, what does that have to do with, like, with manhood being modeled? I said, sex wasn't modeled in front of you, but you figured out how to do that because you wanted to. And he sat back. He was like, yo. I said, yeah, you figured out how to put the thing with the thing. And you worked it out. And then you put some practice in, because I know you put some practice in and you figured it out. I said, this communication thing, this manhood thing, this love thing, this service thing, this work thing, this vision thing, this provision thing, all of this stuff, we gotta figure it out. Depending on who you ask, you need to ask. You know what I'm saying? And you know, brothers, you know how we are sometimes. We don't like to ask. We try to, like, we don't like to ask. And I believe there's grace and there's power in a mentor, in finding somebody who is better than you. I have when I tell you I have so many brothers that I lean on. I have my intellectual brothers that I pick their brain and they guide me through things to read and things to learn. I have husbands around me that are excellent husbands and love their wives well, and I pick their brains and I tell them to correct certain ideas and certain ways of thinking. I have men around me who are wealthy, and I ask them questions and they coach me and they tell me what I need to do and where I need to invest my money and what I need to be thinking about in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So we've got, in the scripture tells us that there's safety in a multitude of counsel. We got to get back to that. Look, man, all of this whining and this crying about you don't have certain things. Okay, after we get to that point to where we realize I didn't have this and I didn't learn this, what are you going to do now? Now that you know that you don't have it, what are you going to do now? Shall we continue in sin just because it wasn't modeled in front of you? I don't think that is no longer an acceptable excuse when we're talking about moving through this life as a man. You find out that you didn't have something, figure out how we can change it. Because it's imperative that we grow. It's imperative that we change. I understand that everybody has been given, a certain situation that they didn't ask for. I didn't grow up with my dad. I didn't have all of that. I didn't have somebody telling me what I needed to do in the critical stages of my life. And then it almost totally derailed me when my grandfather passed. But I had to keep going. And I think it's important that we get our definitions of love, get back to service, and the things that we did not have, the things that were not modeled in front of us. We have an excellent model in Christ. We have excellent guide in the Word of God, and seeking out a wise counsel so that we can fill the gaps through surrogate fathers that we did not have in our adolescence. So I think that's important.
Rich. That's rich. Y'all really came to play today, huh? Auntie, I'm gonna ask the questions before we get to our TI segment, y'all. We got a TI segment, Lord blessed Jesus. But the man, I'm gonna start with you with this question. Has the bro code enabled men to continue, bad behavior? Yep, I went there, you guys. I'm here for it, because the ladies want to know, has the bro code?
Good question, though. That's a real good question.
That's a great question.
And I'm finna dig in it too. No, I ain't gonna dig in it like that, but
I'm telling you, has the bro code enabled men to continue with bad behavior? Debate, go ahead. You can start. Oh, hold on. He on silent. Hold on. Here we go. Go ahead, Debate. I got you.
Okay. The bro code. Oh, God. I'm almost going to say that because of a lack of maturity, it's the reason why men are enabled, because it is almost like Delilah's lap. It seems like a safe place, but in reality, it's the most dangerous place for us to be in certain instances. Really, in a lot of them, because we got bro codes in terms of covering. You cover your brother. you make sure that your brother is on point, but you also hold your brother accountable. So it depends on what angle of this bro code you're coming from, because what the problem is with a lot of the bro code, again, you lack that accountability. You that in that bro code, it's me covering you without me giving you. It's me covering you without covering you. Because if I'm covering you as your brother, I'm gonna hold you accountable. If I'm covering you as your brother, I'm gonna make sure that I'm judging you righteously. Like I'm not gonna like be that brother that's pacifying your issues. I'm not gonna be the brother that's not pushing you into your next. I'm not gonna be that brother that's not pushing you further. As your brother, the bro code, I have an obligation to you. If I call you my bro, I have an obligation to hold you accountable. I have an obligation to make sure that you are maturing. I have an obligation to make sure that you are being a man. Because as a man, we live different. Bro code is when you was out in the streets before you decided to give your life over. Now, when you step over it, we go from bro code to God code. So if I can't hold you to that God code, I literally don't even need to be in your life. I need to be in your life, holding you accountable for the things that God has said. And because I'm a man after God's own heart, right? I'm surrounded by a man that's after God's own heart. And if I see him portraying behaviors that I know God is not going to be cool with, why would I even tolerate it? So I've got to change. I've got to recondition myself. I've got to reposition myself the way that I think. That's why he says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So now bro code and the kingdom versus bro code prior to the kingdom.
They calling you deacon. They calling you
So
deacon.
you get caught up in the lie.
Calling you deacon.
There is a separation that comes, and there's a new code that you fall up under. And I'm sorry, but there's no way, there's no way in the world that I can call myself a bro and honor a code that I know for a fact is gonna turn your life upside down. I can't honor that code. So
Hey, look, deacon. They done got deacon, Bishop Charles. We got goat. we got producer Cat, brother. Let them know, bro. What has the bro code enable men to continue with
I mean, at this point, I'm ready for the benediction.
that?
For real. Pastor ain't spoke yet. Deacon gave the word. So at this point, bro code, accountability, man. We said something a while back, like our first King's meet. It starts with the man. It starts with the man, and I can't call you my bro if I don't hold you accountable. Like if I see you doing wrong and I don't say nothing, like I'm not your bro. Like it depends on how you look at bro. But the way I look at it, if I'm out with Charles and I know Charles got a wife at home, whether she ugly, fine, whatever, it's his wife. Whether they checked in or checked out, it's his wife. Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Because you putting me in the middle of it.
She ain't gonna be ugly. It definitely ain't gonna be ugly. I just want to let you
know. don't do that now, because you know what I'm saying. Not only like you gonna put me in the middle of it. I know what you did. So don't put me in the middle of that. And for two, it's just wrong. Like don't do it. There is no bro code, because there is, but eventually a man is gonna outgrow that. And if you don't grow with me, you're gonna be stuck in that code, because I done outgrown that now. I'm not in the bro code no more. You know what I'm saying? So don't come to me with the bro code, because I'm be like, that's who I used to be, bro. You know what I'm saying? And people be so scared to be like, that's who I used to be. People grow, people change every day. Every day. And it starts with like you gotta start somewhere. You can't be afraid to switch up the bro code. You can't be afraid. Like You can't be afraid to tell your homeboy. If it's your homeboy, you should be able to let him know what's real and what's not. If you can't, man, y'all ain't meant to be together no way. You know, meant to be homeboys no way. So stop being afraid because he gonna get mad at you, or he ain't gonna let you hold that $20 he let you hold every week, or he ain't gonna. That ain't your bro. That ain't your bro, man. It's not your bro. It ain't no bro code. You gonna outgrow that. You gonna outgrow it.
That's good, brother. Go. Let them know what has it. You know, what's your thoughts?
My thought is the bro code is toxic. It's part of male toxicity or whatever, however you say the word. And I want to go with Deke and say we need God. We need to separate them. You got a God code and you got, you know, the bro code, or you want to say you got a man code and you got a bro code. Because to me, the bro code is me asking you to co-sign and turn your face on what I already know is wrong. I'm asking you to overlook my wrong behavior because you're my bro, because you know me. I want you to allow me to do this and not say anything to me. The bro code is the opposite, the absence of accountability to me, because it's saying I don't want any accountability. Don't hold me accountable. Be my partner in this, because I want you to not say anything about what I'm about to do. And to me, yes, that is that thought, that mentality is messing men up. Because like Kid said, if we were out and I know that you're married, I know that whatever, and I see you, you know, going down a path that you shouldn't go down, I should be able to check you and say, hey, bro, don't do that. You know, keep your mind out of the gutter, keep your mind over here, whatever. And you might have got, you know, something caught your attention, like, hey, bro, I tell myself all the time, don't turn an observation into a situation. Just because you observe somebody and they might have been attractive, but if you keep observing them and keep observing them, you're going to turn that into a situation. And now you're in a problem. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to turn that observation to a situation, which is going to turn into a problem. So like it's I should be able to come to you and tell you, hey, bro, that let that go. You know what I'm saying? Let that go. Or even if it's not something in that aspect, even if it's in, you know, when I used to live in California, you know, the guys that I was around, we would ask each other, how's your thinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, what have you been thinking about? You know what I'm saying? Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? You know, keeping that kind of accountability on each other to say, hey man, how's your mental? How have you been lately? Because if I see you tripping and I just say that's my bro and I'm gonna just ride with him or whatever, and I'm gonna let you go through it. Or the thing we always say, they going through a phase. If I let you go through a phase and I don't bring up to you things that could, you know, I know that you're going down the wrong path. Even if I bring that up to you, you get mad at me and now you don't want to be my friend no more. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. But me having upholding some bro code because you're my brother, that's just a lack of accountability.
Yeah. You gonna come to hell with me real quick while I check this out?
Right.
Look, hey,
come to hell with me real quick.
He came out with the equation, y'all. With the equation, everybody wasn't good in math, but that one you can
That's
get.
what it is. Like, you gonna come to hell with me real quick while I check this out? Don't tell nobody. I just want you to come with me real quick, because you're gonna get burned too. But you gonna come to hell with me? Nah, cuz
No, sir.
like Steven said, don't turn what you said, don't turn the observation to a situation. Said it once, I said it before. Don't write a check with your eyes that your heart cannot cash. Don't do it.
Come on.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Charles. Charles, you answered that question, bro. But because after this segment, we're gonna get to T.I. Lord have mercy, we're gonna get to T.I.
Yes, ma'am.
But Auntie Paulette, if you can, after you answer the question, Auntie Paulette says, this is for you and DeVay. are you disenchanted with marriage after your divorce? And do you think you can remarry and not bring your first marriage baggage with you?
That's a that's a good question.
Oh, shooting the gun,
The
cuz.
Hey, the ladies are in the comments. Hey, look,
let me hold on.
don't
Let me
read
pass that to D.
don't read them comments while you talking.
No, for real, they in there.
Nothing.
The first question about the boy code, yeah, that's what it is. It's a
Boy
boy
code.
code.
Yeah.
Boy
It's not a bro code. It's a
Mhm.
boy code.
code.
And I think what we from a scriptural perspective, we the scripture tells us that like who walks with the wise will be wise, but the companion of fools leads to destruction, right? So if I'm an ally with your foolishness, that means I am on my way to destruction.
Yeah.
If I'm out with my boy, if I'm out with my boy and he's not doing what he's supposed to do, I have an obligation to God, to him, and to his wife. Because with Kendrick, look, Charity not gonna kill me. Because after she get on your head, she calling me and saying like you was with him and you his brother and you let it happen.
You came to hell with me.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like so now I lose 2 relationships because I've tried to coddle you. That's not covering. Covering that doesn't have correction is coddling.
Come on.
If I'm putting you in a situation where I am continuing to support you being an idiot, then I am a fool. Because if I allow you, and here's the thing, that's why we got to go back to the last thing of the definition that we have of love. Because if I say I love you as a brother, and I say I want the best for you as a brother, if I say that like we are friends and we have an obligation to sharpen each other, when you come to me with some foolishness, it's my scriptural obligation, it's my manly obligation, and it is my love obligation to say I'm not with it. Now, if you want to go down this path, that's between you and God. But here's the thing: if you decide you want to do this, I will not be held responsible for telling you that it was okay. I want you to know, and matter of fact, I might pull out my voice note and be like, on December such and such, my brother decided he wanted to act a complete fool, and I am right here telling him that he should not do it. So if I need to play this for your wife, for your girlfriend, for your family, I'm letting you know that I was not a part of this, right? And it goes back to us surrounding ourselves around people who are wise and understanding that, like, when I call you a friend, that is a really, really important word. When I say that you are my friend, that means that we are aligned in a lot of different ways, and we play with that word. We have comrades that we call friends. We have people that we have people that they just became my friend because we don't like the same person. So now we have a mutual hatred for somebody else, or a mutual disdain for a particular group, or a mutual thing that we're fighting against. So I call them my friend. That is not your friend, that's your comrade. We're calling friends, we're calling associates friends. We're calling people that we just see for a few hours at work a day friends, who are not our friends, who are not aligned with our beliefs, and who don't care anything about our soul. And it's so important that when men get together, and I'm calling you my friend, that it is a whole totally different thing. Now, what I'm not saying is that we don't have discipleship responsibilities. I believe that 30% of your time should be spent with people who are on a similar level as you. 33% of your time should be spent with mentors and people who are higher than you. And then there should be 33% of your time should be spent with people who you're investing in and you're pouring in. But you have to remember, no matter, bad company corrupts good behavior. But I'm just trying to help them. Bad company corrupts good behavior. I know he's struggling in his relationship. You know, his eyes wander a little bit. Bad company corrupts good behavior. Oh, that's my bro, and we grew up. We've been together for a long time. Bad company corrupts good behavior. There's no way that you're going to be able to circumvent a scriptural law, a spiritual law. If my brother is continually deciding to do the wrong things, eventually I am going to be right there with him. No matter how mature that I think I am, no matter how smart I think I am, no matter how much I think I have self-control, if I surround myself with idiots, if I surround myself with jokers who choose to be immature, if I surround myself around jokers whose eyes wander, if I surround myself around people, if I have close friends that I spend time with who don't care nothing about the word of God, who don't respect women, who don't care about the covenant that they made with their bride, who don't take care of their children, eventually I will be a fool. And I think sometimes we think that we can maturely be around foolishness and come out unscathed. It's not happening. It's not happening. So that bro code, that boy code is a heavy part of the problem of why men, because birds of a feather flock together. You know, like if your boy is acting, brothers, y'all know this. If your boys are acting crazy when you had men in your life that you were connected to that were immature, you know it affected you in some kind of way. You know, even if it was just a little bit, you know it affected you. And so I say that we should be surrounding ourselves around people who are wise and understanding the difference between coddling and covering. I cover you if I know you fell and you weren't, and I know your heart is different. It's the same. It's the whole concept of taking that sheet and backing up to cover my naked brother, or in this sense, in the biblical sense of him backing up to his naked father who was drunk and who was out of his mind. Like covering your brother is different from saying, I see you doing wrong and I co-sign that wrong by covering you because here's the actual facts. If I cover you in your foolishness, then I sowed a seed for you to have to cover me when I do something crazy. So I'm paying that foolishness forward. I'm basically saying, yeah, bro, I'm with you and I'm probably going to do the same thing as you. So when I need you to have my back, I got you. And that's what we're saying. Absolutely. Now for the second question.
Auntie, you about to get your question answered, Auntie. You about to get your question answered.
Ask Auntie question one more time. One more again.
My beautiful Auntie Paulette, y'all make sure y'all get a book, y'all. My Auntie Paulette said, are you disenchanted with marriage after your divorce? And do you think you can remarry and not bring your first marriage baggage with you?
I'm gonna ask my brother, because I just got done doing a lot of talking. I'm gonna ask my brother to go, and then I'll go after him.
He don't pass the ball. You gotta lay up, bro.
Cover me.
Cover
me, bro.
So
I need to be covered.
I'm gonna say one last thing about the boy code, because I'm stuck just for a second. I promise, just for a second. The bro code, the boy code, is the reason why a third of the angels got kicked out of the heaven. Got kicked out. Honoring that code is the reason why they got dismissed.
Jesus.
And why they've been chained since that point. So this is how when Kid was talking about come to hell with me, exactly. That's all we doing. So that's what opens up that door.
Oh, y'all share it. Y'all have to share this video. It ain't even about me. It's about them. At this point, it's about them. If y'all don't share this video just because of what he just said, then Bishop, Reverend, the GOAT, and the Deacon, you don't get this. Y'all better share I don't even ask y'all to share. Share the video. Share the video,
Hey,
y'all.
man,
Simply
look,
because of that. Share the video. Lord have mercy.
if you don't have, man, it's really important to have somebody that is gonna tell you the truth, because I went years not having it, and I went down
Yeah.
the wrong road, bro, the wrong road. And when I started to get around men, that I'm telling you, I got two guys right now in my phone. I'm talking about that will destroy. If you even think about going the wrong way, they are going to destroy. When they finish with you, you're not even going to have legs to walk the path. And at first, that made me scared. But now, man, I'll call their phone so quick, so quick. So if you don't have that, and if you are a man watching this live, if you don't have that, go get it. Get you accountability piece. Get it. Go get it.
You gotta have it.
You
Okay,
you
I'm
done
gonna
Gotta
got
have
ask
it.
another
You gotta
question.
have it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can, but you can't do it by yourself.
listen here. The man you done got moved up from deacon to elder now. You done upgraded real shortly. You done
Got a
upgraded on it.
promotion,
Hey, I'm
baby.
telling you, share this. I won't ask y'all to share nothing.
You might have to have a
Share this
notification
video.
right here. Right here on the
I
live.
But
so
yeah, you need me to
I
repeat the
gotta answer
question,
auntie
Auntie?
question. No, I got you. I'm covering
Okay.
you. um, so in the beginning, going through my divorce or whatever, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I was like, I can't. But as time has progressed and as healing had to happen, I literally have the mindset that I'm going to get married again. And the baggage from my first marriage is not invited into my next one, and my last one, because I don't have the capacity. I've
Oh,
already gotten
shot.
rid of that baggage. And so a part of knowing what a part of knowing that you are ready, and a part of knowing that you are desiring marriage again, is knowing that I took everything from my first marriage, those experiences, those conversations, those traumas, and I dealt with it. I didn't just get over it, but I literally sat down and dealt with everything from start to finish.
Hmm.
I've been to therapy, going back to therapy because I took a break, but I'm going back to therapy because I had to talk this stuff out, because me trying to just sit here and just pray myself out of it wasn't the solution for me, because I needed to be able to talk this thing out to figure out what is it in me that's broken. God will reveal anything. He's going to allow his spirit to reveal those things in you that are broken. But now I need to be able to talk this thing out. I need to be able to have that conversation to be like, here is the root cause of this issue. Because a lot of times we deal with baggage in relationships and in friendships and just period. We have baggage because of traumas that we experience at some point in our life. And so a lot of times we're only looking at somebody that has rage and we see their reaction and we figure, oh, they're just an angry person. But no. Why does that make you angry? Why is that something that caused you to be angry? Doesn't matter what it is. It can be betrayal. It can be upset. It can be abuse. It can be something. Why does that affect you the way that it does? What caused you to fly off the deep end? So a lot of times, bringing baggage, carrying baggage, holding on to things, knowing that in your next relationship, you're going to go through hurt, you're going to go through pain. There's going to be times when you don't like each other. There's going to be times when you roll over like, man, I really did this. There's going to be times when you roll over like, you may question it every so often, but as long as you have that decision to know that I'm not going nowhere, and that this time, because I'm confident in what I did, I'm confident in what we've been building, I'm confident in what God has said about our relationship. I'm not going nowhere. So like I said before, my baggage is not allowed to come into my next marriage, because the baggage from my first relationship, from my first marriage, has nothing to do with what's going on in my future. The baggage from before taught me how to be a better man for my next one. The things that I dealt with before was nothing but a stepping stone. It was nothing but a place for me to grow from. Nothing for me to build. I had to build on top of my mistakes. I made these mistakes. I had issues. But I can't let that be the reason why I no longer pursue something that I know I have access to.
Steve, you
You
need
caught
something.
that? You caught that? Something that I know I have access to.
Yeah. Charles, your turn. Your turn. Everything he said.
Ask the question one more time.
The question is, are you disenchanted with marriage after your divorce? And do you think you can remarry and not bring your first marriage baggage with you?
First off, I like there's no alternative for me other than marriage. Like I do not have the gift of singleness. And I want to be out here and I want to live for God and I don't want to, be throwing it and slinging it. So, from a natural perspective, the man of God needs to get married. So that's just one. That I don't have a choice. If I want to continue to hold up the bloodstained banner and keep my name good amongst the brethren, it's going to be important that I find the woman of God and make a good decision and make an efficient decision. But I think Mike, I think it's important that, and the reason why I know I want to get married because I know that the decision, my next and final decision, will be rooted in a revelation and not rebellion. The reason why I got married the first time was rooted a lot in the fact that I wanted to separate myself from my family, who I felt wasn't allowing me the room to make certain decisions as a man, to do certain things as a man. Did I care for her deeply? Did I love her? Absolutely. But I was nowhere in the realm of wisdom. I moved out of feelings. I moved out of not enough information. I moved out of rebellion and frustration. But then I also I moved out of lust, and I moved out of, I didn't acknowledge I didn't go to the Lord and say like, yo, what do I need to do about this situation? I just did. And it literally bit me in the backside, so, and going back to what my brother said about a revelation is important, because when you're going through the ebb and flow of marital life, and if you don't have a revelation, when it gets hard, when it gets frustrating, when it gets tough, then it can be really, really bad, because you'll start to second guess your decision. But when you heard from the Lord when you made that decision, regardless of how much you get on her nerves or she gets on yours, or regardless of the season of just stuff being kind of boring. And just to take a quick left turn, if you have a wrong definition of marriage and love, marriage is going to kick your butt. Because if you go into that thing thinking that every day is just this fireworks and all of this excitement and all of this coming in on a white horse and all, no, it's full of boring Mondays. It's full of regular Tuesdays. It's full of routine Wednesdays. It's full of, just sitting and watching TV together. And that's why, listen, if you don't get somebody that's your friend, that you consider to be your friend, like, that's my nigga, like, regardless of if we got married or not, like, I would hang out with you. Like, I would spend time with you if it was just platonic and it wasn't romantic. When we get back to understanding that it's a forever friend that we have the opportunity to have legal sex with, I think we'll have a better It'll help us more in our choosing process. And so for me, I'm absolutely ready because, like my brother said, I allowed myself to go through the crucible of understanding that this is on you, and it's on you to heal. It's on you to get a proper appraisal of your soul and have people who get on you.
Go ahead, brother. I can hear you. He talking?
My
Oh
bad. Can
Lord.
you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Oh Lord, my bad. So it's important for us to get around people and know in that scenario, I had to get around people post divorce who loved me and who told me, yeah, man, you got some really good things about you, but here's all of the places where you raggedy. Here's all the places where you're inconsistent. No, for real. Like, here's all the places that you need to change and need to grow. So that we don't make any more decisions out of our feelings. I had to have people that tell me, like, look, you think you, because, and I know you can get with me on this, D. Those seasons where you think you've healed, those seasons where you're like, man, I'm good, I'm ready to go, and da 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 da, but then you take off running romantically, and you realize I'm still hobbled. Because she might say something, she might do something, something might happen that looks like the old thing, and you realize, like, I'm not healed and I'm not ready. So I think it's very, very important that we take a proper appraisal of our healing, because the healing process, and this is what I had to go through, and the healing process for our soul is a lot like what it takes when you go to the hospital. When you go to the hospital, there's a moment where somebody is cutting you. They're cutting you, and they're getting the thing out of you or they're adjusting the thing in you that needs to be adjusted. Then there is a season of you sit your funny looking tail down and you do not move. That's the season where they bring you your food. That's the season where they bring you the things that you need to drink. That's the season where they come to you and administer your medicine. That's the season where they hand you a remote and they tell you, do not move. We will do everything for you. And then there is a season where they say, all right, according to the amount of damage that was done to you, according to the amount of healing you need, then you get to the place where they say, it's time for you to get up now and walk around. It's time for you to get up and walk around. So they let you walk down the hallway. They let you walk down the hallway. And then what do? Tell you to sit your funny looking tail down again. And then they get you up again and they tell you to walk, right? And then finally, there's a season where they say, it's time for you to go home. But I'm still feeling it's time for you to go home, because now we've done the necessary things. We've given you the necessary prescriptions. We've taken you through the necessary process of therapy, and it's time for you to go home. Now, there are certain situations where you need rehab. There are certain situations where you need to leave the hospital and go to somebody who's taking you to the next level of growth. And that's all about you being able to appraise and allowing somebody else to do an appraisal on your level of damage. Because sometimes we think we're okay, and you get around somebody who's wise and say, nah, brother, you need a long time. You don't need to date for it. And you don't need to date until I say so. you don't need to go out on a date. You don't need to talk to nobody. You need to leave these sisters alone, because you're gonna gut them like fish if I let you go out here, because you're hurting and you bleeding all over people, and you talking crazy, and you out here having sex, and you got the wrong mindset, and these daughters out here want to get married, and you hadn't healed yet. Sit your funny looking tail down. That should be that was my
that would be a trend, brother.
Listen, that was my mantra. That was my mantra post divorce. I had a man of God tell me, and even my baby sister said, sit down. You don't need to do nothing until I say you need to do something, because you out here moving crazy. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't properly heal, and I'm done. If you don't properly heal, you end up becoming the very thing that you hate. You end up becoming a wolf. You end up becoming the person that preys on daughters of God. You need to heal and sit. I gotta say it again because it just makes me feel good. Sit your funny looking tail down.
I can't. So I just want this to be clear for the ladies and the people that might catch this on the replay. My two brothers on the top, Stephen and Kat, they are taken men. They are married men. I just want that to be clear. My brother Charles and, Elder DeVay, they are single men.
The
And
bishop.
listen, they are single. So look, we're gonna get to this T.I. comment that I sent y'all. I couldn't find the clean version. And after, I need to. This is what T.I. said.
I just want to jump in right quick. I want to jump in.
Oh, go ahead, Stephen.
I want to tag on something that Bishop just said, where he said, if you don't take the proper time to heal, you will become lame. You become if you don't give something the proper time to heal, and you start trying to reuse it before it's time, you break it again, or it's going to stay in the position that it's in, and it's never going to work properly. So you can become lame if you don't give yourself proper time.
That's so good, bro.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
I was listening to a message earlier today, and the guy said that whatever you don't hate, you eventually tolerate. So if you don't get to the point to where say, no, I can't be that person because that's something I despise because I don't want to be like that, eventually you'll tolerate it and you'll find yourself becoming it, like you just said.
Yeah, and it's real. And this goes for anybody, man. If you don't take that time to heal, you start bleeding on the people that did nothing to you.
Absolutely.
You start bleeding on the people that did nothing to you, and that's blood of hurt, hate. That person did nothing to you. Take that time to recover, whether it's a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship or marriage. Take that time to recover, because the last thing you want to do is punch somebody in the face that's trying to love you. That's the last thing you want to do with your hurt.
I can't with these folks in the comments, yo. I can't, yo.
Yeah.
But we gonna,
Are they cutting up?
D.
they are cutting.
They are
cutting up.
Go ahead and just shut your DMs down for
They are cutting up. You hear me? And look,
change
Charles.
your name to your handle, to your hashtag, to your handle, so they can follow you, find you, follow you.
And all the women commenting, they faithful supporters. Some of them are my sisters, my friends and stuff, and you can't go wrong. So whatever one you cherry, I don't know. But for the T.I. comment, y'all, for the T.I. comment, okay. It's no secret. He's in one of my favorite rappers, T.I. However, I have to admit that ever since he got a podcast, he just been need some prayer. So I need some prayer. So T.I. said, and I quote, he said, women that say that they don't want a man that have a lot of itches. They don't have a lot of, female. Yeah, you only got a lot of females that they don't really want a man. They don't really want a man. So DeVay, what are your thoughts about that?
Wait, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
We going all out of order on this one. we going all out of order. So T.I. said that women who say that they do not want a man with a lot of hoes, he used another word, don't really want a man. That those women actually want men that have a lot of females chasing them, because that is the very thing that attracts the women to that man. Is he give off pheromones T.I. is expeditiously stupid because he know a few of those big words. But you say your body give off. That man has a whole aura about his swag that gives off pheromones, which attracts the women because he has women chasing him. And any woman that doesn't want a man that already have women chasing him don't really want a man. T.I. is just smart enough to be stupid. He dangerous. I
don't even know if I want to speak on that. I feel like I'm trying to get married in a few days, so I'm just gonna let y'all take it.
Like, first of all, that's a boy's mentality, right? And you feel like, so it could be a little bit of like a Donald Trump syndrome, where Donald Trump absolutely believes the stuff that comes out of his mouth is true.
Nah, I'm with you when you're right.
You can't tell him that he's wrong. Somebody said the other day that you can ask him a question and he can give you an answer in the morning, a different answer at noon, and a different answer at nighttime, and you put him on a polygraph test and he'll pass it all because he believed all three statements. And that's T.I. He absolutely believes that what's coming out of his mouth is true because that's the type of situation that he is in, where he feels he's been so unfaithful in his marriage, which is openly acknowledged, that he feels like that's what women want. You know what I'm saying? And his wife doesn't hate it, so she tolerates it, and so therefore he continues.
Well, Devay, go ahead.
Here are my sentiments. Because T.I. back in the day, he used to be one of my favorite rappers. I'm not really current on his new stuff, like back in the day. I feel like this is so childish because the women that I know want somebody that everybody ain't looking for, and I use the term woman instead of girl because girls love men and boys that draw a lot of attention because you got that swag, that sex appeal. And it becomes a competition, and then it becomes I got this nigga. Because a lot of times, females will have the same mentality that guys do, and sometimes when you're dealing with guys, you start talking about I got the baddest one that everybody want. So females adopt this same mentality when it comes down to it. So I think this whole concept is incredibly childish. I know in particular, I don't want a woman that wants me because she got me over other women and because other women want me. I think if that's your primary source or if that's even a factor in the reason why you want me, then we ain't got nothing to talk about because your mentality is not ready to handle what my life carries, and I don't have time for it. Because then once the groupies go away, how you gonna feel? Because if you only around because I got groupies and because you won out of the groupie contest, you have no substance. You have no substance. You have no substance. You cannot be my queen. You can't be my first lady. Like, no, I'm not. I can't do this because when you know what your life carries, when you know what it is that God has said about you, you know the type of woman that is required to help you get to this thing. You know what that helper is supposed to look like. So the thing becomes now, what woman wants this? And is she doing this for show? Or is she doing this like I don't understand. I don't understand because I know how I am. Speaking for me, I don't want no woman that everybody want. If everybody want her, y'all can have her. Mm-hmm. Especially if they got access to her. It's a different thing because there's nothing wrong with being desired by people because people are gonna desire you. But it's the thing about your it's about what you give into. Just because they desire you does not mean that they get to have you. Doesn't mean that they need access to you. Doesn't mean that they can be a part of your world. Desire does not equal compatibility. Desire does not equal access. Desire does not mean that there's room for you in my life. And so now we've got to understand the mentality of the women, and we're going to understand the mentality of people. Same thing. Same thing for the man. Same thing for the woman. It's the same thing on both sides. So I think it is a very ignorant statement.
Yes.
T.I., I am not impressed by this comment.
Yeah.
Because
Yo, that's crazy.
just because you're desired. And boy, that don't mean you a thought, because people can be sliding in your DMs and you'll have all these messages that you never responded to. I'm not responding to this because I already know what you want. And what we don't like are attention whores. I can't be with an attention whore. That don't work for me. The way that I'm programmed, the way that I'm set up, I ain't got to that part in therapy yet. I don't want to be bothered with that. So there's a difference, and there's
Can I piggyback?
piggyback.
Can I piggyback? Listen. Also, if you fall for, even if it's man or a woman, if you fall for that type of person, they gonna cheat on you. Point blank, period. Because the moment you no longer have the hoes, you no longer have the thing that attracted them to you. And so the next person that has it, that's where their attention is going to go. They're not going to be faithful to. It's like how they talk about how, you know, somebody is in a relationship and then they got a side chick or a side man or whatever, and they leave the main for the side chick. Eventually, the side chick that's not a main is going to become another side. There's going to be another side chick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because the cycle is going to continue. That person is not going to stay faithful to you.
You're going to become the side piece.
I'm telling you. I mean, and then again,
be the side piece.
Who you might have that girl that every man wants. Say you get her, but do you have the mental to put up with that? Do you have the mental to put up? You might get her, but just know there's another nigga just like you, and then just like him, and then another man just like him is waiting for you for whatever it is that had your interest. It's gonna run out eventually because everybody want her. So do you have the mental to deal with that? To know that everybody wants your woman? Because it's a difference. If y'all in love with each other, and you know somebody wants your woman. That's different. You don't love this woman. You just everybody wants her, so you want her. So do you have the mental to deal with the fact that all your homies want her? Because it ain't men that you don't know. Your homies want her too. Do you know what kind of way it's gonna drive between you and your homies? Like what? Bro, you ain't got the mental for it. Let her go be with whoever and fall off somewhere else because you're gonna fall off there. I'm telling you. You ain't got the mental for that, bro. Don't do that to yourself.
She's the bad thing. She ain't the good thing.
I'm telling you.
And Charles Bishop, listen here. Yeah. They preaching. Bring us home. Bring us home.
Hold on, let me go get on the drums. Steven, go get on the keys real quick.
Listen, you have to understand, you know, when one of your brothers already closes out service. Don't you hate when somebody preached like an amazing message and somebody comes back to close service and they preach and they try to re-preach it? Is nothing to say. We already understand, according to the scripture, we don't take counsel from ungodly people. T.I. is an idiot. He is not an example. He is not some. Now, trap music did go hard when I was in high school. Trap music changed my little ghetto life, my wannabe ghetto life. It changed me. But I don't have anything else to add. My brother's already mopped the floor with this particular topic. You gotta be. Do you know how insecure you have to be as a man to want to be surrounded and to want to relish in the fact that so many people desire you in order to try to play with the heart of the woman that you are committed to? Why you want to keep her on her toes by letting her know that there are women that desire you? You're an idiot. You're a boy. You're a child, and we don't listen to you. We don't listen to you. Nothing about I'm expeditiously not click on your podcast because you're an idiot.
You know,
and and that's all I got to say about that.
Listen, if ladies, the people in the comment, if y'all enjoyed yourself, man, put some fire emojis in there, man. Light it up, y'all. This was good. I can't wait till next year, man. When Kings talk, hearts listen. You hear me? And but Steven, let the folks know how they can follow you, what you do, any businesses.
Yeah, so I do graphic design, web design, photography. Anybody that needs any of those services, they can find me on my social media platform at SL Gaskins, GASKINS, SLGASKINS. And yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, let the folks know.
Yeah, so I do photography and I play drums. I'm 2021, praying to start tracking drums for myself.
Yeah.
So, but you can find me on IG at Capture Moments with 2Ks, Capture Moments Photography. Hey, it could be your next session. Just let me know.
Today, you got anything going on? Any businesses?
Bishop.
You got any businesses,
I'm
Elder?
sorry.
Elder, you got any?
I blacked out. I'm sorry. You can follow me on Facebook. It's just my name, Devay Terry. Instagram, Devay. You can find me. Just type my name in. I'm probably the only one in the world. But I do have a business, a Down production management company. We specialize in all things event coordinating, that type of thing. That's our avenue. So if you're looking for anything, especially with the virtual thing, you can find us.
And last but not least, Bishop, let the folks know.
Where your
We
church
coming
at?
to your church.
Hey, before I say that, I just want to say, like, sis, I really appreciate. This is the third time that I've seen you in the past, 4 or 5 weeks, and I just want to let you know that I don't take it lightly, and that I appreciate you inviting me and to be able to have such awesome conversation. On Instagram, I am at _Charles in charge. That's CHARLES in charge. On Facebook, you can see my goofy looking face if you type in Charles James. And I'm a musician, preacher first, writer, songwriter, producer, guitarist, acoustic and electric. And I got a few records out there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm excited about 2021, and I'm planning on releasing about 23 songs next year, and so
Okay,
it's
bro.
gonna be a busy year, and I'm happy to be here, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Problem. I want to say this publicly, you guys. Look, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking with your little sister, man. Your girl, to the supporters, man. Thank y'all so much. We gonna be having When Kings Talk, all next year. We're gonna try to do at least once a month. I got, as y'all can see, I am connected with some dope kings, some dope people, man. And Steven, thank you, brother, for showing up for your little sister, man. I really appreciate you, man. This was like really, really awesome, really, really dope. Debate. It was fine. It was nice to finally meet you face to face. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Kat,
Absolutely.
my brother is getting married, y'all. He is getting married, y'all. December 19th to my beautiful and wonderful sister Charity. I am so happy. And Auntie Paulette, I do have one. We have a fourth step in y'all that we're going to be doing. It's going to be called When Queens Gather Together. When Queens Gather Together.
Oh,
And
I can't wait to get in them comments.
oh yes.
when Queens gather together, man.
I'm showing out.
You showing out. And so I'm having our top favorites, and then also to my brother Charles, man. You already know that I'm so happy and blessed that God divinely connected us together as brother and sister, and to build, this type of kingdom. So I'm like super, super excited. Let's see. Charles, can you take us out in prayer? Can you take us out in prayer? Everybody, I can stay
Terry
on.
taking us out.
Terry.
Nope. Terry taking us out.
Before they do
Nope.
that, I just want to say, man, it's real dope. Be amongst men. Yo, that's dope, man. Like, I could call either one of y'all and know that y'all gonna hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope
Sure.
because it's not a lot of that in the world, man. So, man, I love all y'all, man.
This is beautiful,
And
Ray. I
let
love
me
it.
say one thing. For any brothers that you guys know that are in the Atlanta area next year, I'm launching a men's fellowship. And right now I got about 25 that say they on board. And so it looks like it's gonna have to shift from my house to an Airbnb to where we're gonna get around. We're gonna talk a little bit about, biblical concepts about being a man. And then after that, we getting on the sticks. We're gonna eat. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna have a good time. So if any of my brothers in the Atlanta area would love to be a part, we need to create an environment for us to be able to grow together
Hey,
and
that ain't nothing but an
have a
hour
good
flight.
community. Oh, please come and holler at
Hey,
your
that ain't
boy.
nothing but an hour flight.
Please come holler at your boy. So it'll
But
be fun.
it,
But I would like to pass my prayer responsibility over to my
oh,
brother because he
Terry,
blessed me tonight.
he,
So
Terry, look,
and
man.
you got the preacher voice. You got the heavy apostle voice. So please pray
Lord
us out.
Jesus.
But I just want to say this too. Isn't it a beautiful thing when you can see healthy Black men gather and show love without anybody trying to make it seem like it's lame or not cool? I think this is like
Absolutely.
one of the most beautiful things, man. And I am blessed to have y'all in my life. But Elder, they you got promoted again. You ain't even know it, but they call you
Yeah.
apostle now.
Apostle.
Apostle. So you don't call deacon, elder, and apostle. I don't think nobody graduated that fast. So
Didn't our hearts not burn on tonight?
Did our hearts not burn?
but yes,
Oh man.
go ahead. Can you take us out in prayer today, please?
Dear God, we thank you for this time of fellowship, God. We thank you for this time of gathering. We thank you for this time of freedom. We thank you for this time of expression and just for allowing us to be able to speak concerning life as being a man from your eyes and not from our own understanding. Father, I thank you for my brothers that are on this live tonight and the ones that have spoken. And I thank you for the words that they have spoken, God, because they came from a sincere place and they came from a place of experience and not just a place of logic, but a place of revelation, a place of purity, and a place of peace, and a place of hope. And I pray, Lord, that even as we are dismissing this thing, that the words that were spoken tonight would resonate in our hearts, Father, that these seeds that were planted would fall on good ground. Father, we pray against every enemy and everything that will come and try to take away the words that you have spoken. To every brother that was watching tonight, to every sister that was watching tonight, I pray, Father, that you have penetrated their hearts, God. And I thank you, God, that freedom is happening. We thank you for transformation in the lives of men, God. We thank you for the evolution and for the evolution of our brothers and for the men that you have placed inside of this world, God. So because we know that we are the leaders, because we know that you have made us the head, God, we choose to take on that role with integrity and we choose to take on that role with honor. And so, Father, I pray, Lord, that you would continue to keep us, that you would continue to shape us, and that you would continue to mold us and form us into the image of your dear Son so that we can be that sweet fragrance in your nostrils, God. We want to do all that pleases your heart. And so, Father, I thank you for this time tonight, God. I thank you for everything that you've done, and I thank you for the future. And I pray a special prayer over our sister that hosted this thing, that opened this thing up for us, that created this platform, God. And I pray that you would continue to expand her, that you would continue to increase her in revelation and knowledge and wisdom. And Father, continue to give her vision, God, for the things that she has her hands in, even the things that she has not uttered, Father. I pray right now, God, that you would bless it, that you would provide provision, God, so that your kingdom can continue to flourish and that it can continue to thrive right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy these kings tonight. Until next time.